I have a wonderful opportunity to talk robots with my new friend Jeremy Rockman, which, by the way, has got to be the coolest name in robotics. So, Jeremy, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thanks, Chris. Like I said, my name is Jeremy Rockman. I'm the head of product management for mobile industrial robots, also known as MiR's robot product lines. I've been doing mobile robots for about 10 years now. I joined MiR and MiR's family of robotics companies in late 2019, and glad to be here.
Oh, man. So, in 10 years, you must have seen a lot of changes like this. The pace of this industry is crazy fast.
Yeah, it really has been. The increase in technology over the last ten years has been crazy, and it really has enabled robotics to do a lot more things in both the industrial and logistics sectors.
So, MiR, like the name says it all, like you are building mobile industrial robots. Tell us a little bit about the company.
Yeah, so Mir's been around for about a decade now, and we basically have two main product lines. We make a deck load product line, which is a base robotic platform, which drives around on six wheels, and people can put whatever they want on top of it to whatever workflow that they're trying to automate. And we also have a pallet jack product line that was recently launched last year for handling pallets with forks. And both have really enabled our company to kind of grow in both the manufacturing and logistics spaces. Those are the two market verticals that are really expanding, with the growth of the e-commerce over the last decade and a half. MiR itself, we make robots that navigate autonomously in dynamic environments. We'll dive into it a little bit more later, but we use these RealSense cameras to identify obstacles and autonomously navigate around them, which really provides value to the more dynamic spaces as markets and industry grow. The kind of old way of doing things, of everything being exactly how it's supposed to be, step after step, has really become much more dynamic as throughput out of the same facility demands have gotten higher and higher over the last several years. So the AMR platform space is really growing with that market need, and the advancements in sensor technologies like vision of what have really enabled the robots to work in these dynamic environments.
Wow. Well, thank you, first of all, for using RealSense. You're a valued partner of the company. We see you at all the robot trade shows. Like I love watching the AMRs like run around. They're so amazing to watch. But that pallet mover, like that's got to be like every time I talk with like a big warehousing company, that's always the first thing they ask. That must be a hot seller at the moment.
Yeah, we're really excited about that new product line, and that product in particular uses multiple RealSense RGBD cameras to identify the world around it. With the advancements we've seen in artificial intelligence in the last several years, and the reduction in cost per compute has really allowed us to do a lot more with vision on these types of robots. And the pallet jack is a great example of that. We use vision and we use AI within that robot to identify pallets, its pose, and the environment around it far more accurately and reliably than we could just 5 or 6 years ago.
Wow.
That same sort of robot 5 or 6 years ago might cost $1 million. Nowadays, we can run these machine learning algorithms and get pallet pose and an environment far more accurately, and it really allows the robot to make much more human-like decisions. And you're right, we've seen uh, great interest in the ability to move pallets without having to actually get underneath them.
Yeah, no person involved. Like take that there and then come back for the next one. Yeah, it's just you see these things just moving all over the warehouse. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, and like you bring it up, what do people do, and what value do they do? So people are fantastic at handling variability, but the most of people's job within any sort of manufacturing logistical workflow is just mindlessly driving some piece of material from point A to point B. That's really a sense that automation and our products can really help with is doing these tasks and let the person do the high variability operations that you really get value out of them for.
exactly, and let the robots do what they're good at as well. So you get
Yeah.
this symbiotic relationship between robots and humans. I love it. I've seen really awesome industrial arms on top of your AMRs now. Tell us a little bit about that.
So recently, we've also launched a product line called Mobile Cobots, and we have a couple of varieties, MC250 and MC600. And really, what this is a collaboration of Teradyne robotics companies. I should mention that MiR is it's a subsidiary of Teradyne Robotics, and we have a sister company called Universal Robots who makes these really cool robotic arms, or cobots as we call them. And by putting these two together, we've made a product now that can handle workflows that were never even dreamed about being automated even 5 years ago. So the mobile cobot can drive around, and then it can use its arm to manipulate something and to transport materials. So now I just mentioned that, keep people doing the value added tasks. We have now going up that value stream, and we are doing even more value added tasks, such as gripping small objects, putting them on a platform and driving them to their next station. This has great applications in the electronics, semiconductor, and any sort of manufacturing space as well. And the ability to sense the environment again is what really has enabled applications and automation like this to really take off in the last few years. It's another one of our product lines that we are very excited about what it's going to do in the marketplace and over the next midterm.
Yeah, and these aren't toy robots by any imagination. They're industrial. So like I saw one and it looked like the arm could maybe reach higher than me, like on a shelf to get a box or something up there. That was amazing.
Yeah, so there are lots of different applications, and Universal Robots offers a lot of different arms depending on what those applications are. The ability to go and grab a box as it came into your facility. So if it just comes in as a cardboard box, the ability to actually grab it without having to take anything out or to put it into a specialized tote or things like that really adds a lot of value and eliminates a lot of costs that these manufacturing operations have. So, and yes, they can reach very, very high, especially when you put them on top of our MiR 600, and they can grab boxes and bins off the shelf to bring to production lines or bring to the wrappers and things of that nature.
Hey, so your AMR, say without the arm, without that middle base, how much weight can they lift? Because it looks like they move around and lifts things up and move things to different places too, right?
So our four main products here, MiR, we have three of them in our deck load product line. We have a MiR 250, that'd be a 250 kilogram deck load robot. In that deck load product line, we also have a MiR 600, which is what we were just talking about, combined with our Universal Robots arm. And then our biggest deck load platform is a MiR 1350 to handle mostly pallets or any sort of payload that up to 1350 kilograms. And we
Wow.
talked about earlier the MiR pallet jack. Its official name is the MiR 1200 pallet jack because its payload is 1200 kilograms that it can handle with its forks.
That's a lot. Like if you think about it, like I think you've covered probably 80% or more of the weight type items like in a warehouse, which is
Yeah,
just
yeah.
phenomenal.
When we look at the market out there, we really want to develop product lines that can capture most of the needs of the different verticals that there are. They have electronics and semiconductor manufacturing I mentioned, but then you have distribution centers in the logistics space. We have automotive suppliers, which is a big vertical that we play in, or any sort of industrial manufacturing. So our suite of products allows us the applicable workflows to really spread out and allows MiR to offer a suite of products all under one software platform to handle whatever your material movement needs may be.
That's awesome. And you mentioned RealSense earlier. You're using our stereo depth cameras, sometimes multiple cameras on a robot. And I saw, yeah, the arm had one like up tight towards the gripper so it can see where to go. But then your base had multiple cameras on it, for probably slam and navigation. I'm just guessing. What are you using the RealSense cameras for?
Yes, that's a great question. So in our deck load products, we use them mainly for obstacle detection and avoidance. So not just the RGB features, but also the depth feedback that we get allows us to get a very accurate representation of the world around us and avoid obstacles seamlessly. So instead of just driving up and only seeing it with maybe the LiDAR sensors and having to stop, turn, and work around, we get this feedback much faster that we can put into our cost map and then navigate around them. For the pallet jack product line, we use the RealSense cameras,
Yeah.
for both pallet, not only for pallet detection, which we use machine learning on, but we also run kind of advanced AI algorithms for obstacle detection. So we're using the RGBD and the depth feedback of those cameras to do something very unique in the pallet jack, which is learn what the floor is. So what happens today for most obstacle detection is most robots out there will just cut out the floor because it'll see the floor as an obstacle, and then you have a lot of false positives. So what typically happens is you just cut out the data that's within 4 or 5 centimeters of the floor. What we've actually done with these RealSense cameras and with some advanced artificial intelligence, I was taught the robot what the floor is. So something as either small as a cell phone or a wrench is lying on the floor, we can actually see that as an obstacle and not the floor itself. It's really been a pretty big differentiator for that product line based on what else is out in the market today.
That's brilliant. As just kind of like just an engineer human thinking, like it just feels like the robots need to see the floor. That's just brilliant.
Yeah, it seems like a simple concept, but it's one of those things, and we hit it on it very early in this conversation. Sensing technology and artificial intelligence has taken a leap forward the last 5 or 6 years or so, and that is specifically something that wasn't even considered back in that time, and now is becoming a little bit more commonplace, and is really on the cutting edge of what technology can do for robotics.
Well, I'm just kind of thinking, like, if the robot did not look at the floor, how would it even detect that there's a end of the floor, a fall off point or something? Like, yeah, it's brilliant that you're doing that and you're looking for wrenches, or even like a screw or something on the floor could mess up the robot wheels and stuff, I would imagine.
And that's when you're getting right into advancements in sensor, because identifying something that small, it's very difficult with previous technology, and it's really getting much better with what we have today.
Wow. So how did you find the RealSense cameras like to integrate? Was our SDK fairly easy to use? Do you recall any of those conversations?
Yeah, so very early on, we went through a pretty normal, I would call, product development selection process with other vendors, and really what it came down to was how easy was it for us to develop on the SDK, and how easy was it to integrate into our ROS-based platform, and that's really why our developers kind of gravitated toward the RealSense platform, is because it allowed them to develop faster, allowed them to test faster, and allowed them to eventually get product and features out the door at a much faster pace than maybe some of the other options. So another great aspect of why we decided to go with RealSense is, just the simple supply chain continuity. RealSense is a company that's been out there for a while. It has, enterprise level processes and representation across the globe. So when we do need technical support, it's always available and quick, which is which is a great thing to have when you do need some technical support, or you need some feedback. The developers need some feedback on how they may want to do something. So both the ease of integration as well as sort of the kind of enterprise level support are reasons we selected RealSense.
Well, Jeremy, my heart, if you could see it, it's big, excited, and happy. I love talking about robots. I love that you guys have had success with the RealSense cameras. I can't thank you enough. Well, I'm super excited to see if you have, like, what's next. Do you have any like super secret news you can share with us? Are you building a Megazoid next? What are you doing?
Well, here at MiR, we're always innovating. We're always putting together the cutting edge technology, and we're always trying to see what else AI can do for us and how they can make our robots better, faster, more efficient. So, all I can really tell you for now is stay tuned.
Well, that's a great answer. You got me on my toes. I'm waiting to see what you guys come up with. Well, Jeremy, thank you for sharing your time with us, your story with us, and thank you for being a RealSense customer. We'll do this again, and maybe we can dive even more deep on the conversation of how you're doing some of the stuff, what you can share, and I love what you're doing. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you for having me. It was a great conversation.